Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are decoding a massive, incredibly detailed anti-aging protocol that's drawn from over 1,000 different studies. We're going to look at the exact science of how to actually slow down and literally reverse biological aging. By the end of this, you're going to have all the actionable insights you need to build your very own personal longevity blueprint.
Okay, let's dive into this with a headline that might completely flip your current perception of getting older. Back in 2019, the MIT Technology Review splashed this bold, honestly mind-blowing statement right on their cover. Old age is over, if you want it. I know, it sounds straight out of science fiction. But as we unpack the data today, you're going to see exactly why the scientific community is shifting away from just treating the symptoms of aging and moving toward proactively targeting the aging process itself. Now, to understand how we actually pull that off, we first need to talk about the two totally different clocks ticking inside you. First up is your chronological age. That is just a number on a calendar, right? The time that's passed since you were born. But what actually matters here is your biological age. This is the real physiological wear and tear on your cells. Your biological age is the thing that dictates your health span, which is the period of your life you actually spend free from disease and disability. And your health span is absolutely crucial because of this really heavy number right here, 9.6. According to recent global health data, 9.6 years is the amount of time the average person now spends just managing disease and disability at the end of their life. Think about that for a second. The promise of modern medicine gave us all these extra years, but we're spending nearly a decade of that extended lifespan struggling with our health. Well, our goal today is to show you exactly how to take those years back.
So, here's our roadmap for getting there. Think of it as a longevity pyramid. We're going to cover 4 key areas today. First, the science of aging. Then we'll build a solid foundation with diet and lifestyle. Next, we'll layer on some targeted boosters. And finally, we'll explore the wild frontier of cutting-edge medicine.
Section 1. The science of aging. Let's look at why the machine breaks down. Okay, so one of the biggest culprits of aging is cellular senescence. Over time, some of our cells just lose the ability to divide and grow. But here's the catch. They don't die. They just kind of sit there, constantly spewing out inflammation. Scientists actually call them zombie cells, which is pretty fitting. In a Landmark 2018 study, researchers found that when they used specific compounds called senolytics to clear these zombie cells out of older mice, it completely alleviated their physical decline and extended their lifespan by an incredible 36%. I mean, just imagine adding 36% more productive, healthy years to your own life. That's huge. Another massive pillar of aging science is epigenetics. This is basically the study of how your environment and your lifestyle choices change the way your genes are read, without actually altering the underlying DNA sequence itself. And this brilliantly illustrates the power of our environment. The Dutch hunger winter. Children born during a severe famine in the Netherlands back in 1944 suffered epigenetic changes that made them significantly more likely to develop cardiovascular disease and obesity much later in life. Their environment literally rewrote their genetic future. But wait, here's the really good news. These epigenetic marks are largely reversible through the choices we make today. Section 2. Foundation, diet, and lifestyle. These are the daily habits that build our longevity base. Back in 2023, a massive study of nearly 720,000 military veterans found that adopting 8 specific habits reduced mortality by 13% compared to folks who didn't adopt them. Let's rapid fire through these real quick. You want to stay physically active, be totally free from opioid addiction, not smoke, manage your stress levels, eat a good diet, avoid binge drinking, practice good sleep hygiene, and maintain positive social relationships. It all sounds so simple, right? But this right here is the undeniable bedrock of a long, healthy life. Let's drill down into that diet piece for a second. A massive 2026 cardiology study of nearly 200,000 participants compared low-carb and low-fat diets, and the takeaway here is incredibly empowering. Both diets reliably reduce the risk of heart disease, provided the foods were healthy and high quality. A healthy low-carb diet full of vegetables, nuts, and plant fats work just as well as a healthy low-fat diet rich in whole grains, fruits, and plant proteins. So, the bottom line? The actual quality of your food matters way, way more than whatever specific macronutrient camp you happen to belong to. Conversely, the unhealthy versions of those exact same diets absolutely skyrocketed cardiovascular risk. The data on this is crystal clear. Eliminating ultra-processed foods and seed oils, specifically linoleic acid, should be your absolute highest priority. An extensive 2024 umbrella review linked ultra-processed food to 32 different health risks, including severe metabolic dysfunction and mortality. And heavily refined seed oils? Well, they're highly susceptible to oxidation, which drives the exact kind of cellular inflammation we are desperately trying to stop. Now, moving from diet to movement, check out this empowering number, 39%. A 2024 meta-analysis from the European Society of Cardiology found that simply choosing to take the stairs instead of the elevator results in a 39% lower likelihood of death from heart disease. That's wild, right? Walking and basic daily movement aren't just exercise. They are potent anti-aging interventions that literally increase your circulating stem cells.
And of course, to recover from all that movement, we absolutely need sleep. An extensive 2025 study published in Sleep Advances revealed that sleep sits at the very center of the longevity puzzle. When comparing major lifestyle risks, they found sleep deprivation was one of the strongest drivers of early death. It rivals obesity and actually surpasses physical inactivity. It acts as a primary driver of mortality, completely independent of whether you exercise or eat well. So yeah, prioritize that sleep.
Section 3, boosters, supplements. Let's look at some targeted boosters to level up our biology. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer biological impact of a basic, everyday vitamin. The 2025 VITAL study followed adults for 4 years and found that those taking 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily experienced almost 3 years less biological aging compared to a placebo group. D3 literally protects your telomeres, which are kind of like those little plastic caps on the ends of your shoelaces, but for your DNA, protecting them from wearing down. But remember, you have to pair it with vitamin K2. That's because K2 ensures the calcium your body absorbs is safely directed right into your bones rather than building up dangerously in your arteries.
Here are 2 more deeply biological boosters you should know about. First up is Galinac, which is a specific blend of amino acids. A recent clinical trial showed that it actually corrected deficiencies in glutathione, which is our body's master antioxidant, and it improved 4 major hallmarks of aging, including mitochondrial dysfunction and genomic damage. And then we have omega-3s. High-quality, low-oxidation omega-3s don't just lower cardiovascular disease risk, they actually increase telomere length and enhance your brain's bioenergetics, which significantly improves working memory as we age. It's a total game changer.
Section 4. The frontier. This is the absolute cutting edge of longevity medicine. Let's move to and see how this builds into something truly next level with stem cell therapy. In a groundbreaking 2025 study published in the journal Cell, scientists took mesenchymal stem cells, those are adult stem cells, and they armed them with the FOXO3 longevity gene, creating what they call senescence-resistant cells, or SRCs. When they delivered these intravenously to older macaques, it didn't just halt the aging process, it triggered a systemic rollback. The macaques showed enhanced brain function, stronger bones, and a profound reduction in those inflammatory zombie cells we talked about earlier. Simply incredible. We're also seeing a massive paradigm shift in how we view hormone replacement therapy, or HRT. While it's historically been a bit debated, recent data reviews show that when begun early in postmenopausal women, HRT is associated with a 40% collective mortality risk reduction. 40%! It significantly reduces the rate of heart failure, combats the progression of atherosclerosis, and actively protects bone density. Now, the source data strongly notes that the absolutely crucial difference here lies in utilizing bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic progestins, which optimizes both safety and cardiovascular benefits. So we've covered the cellular science, the foundation of diet and lifestyle, targeted supplement boosters, and the very frontier of longevity medicine. The data clearly shows us that your biological age is not set in stone. It is highly, highly responsive to the environment you create for your cells. So, looking at this longevity blueprint we've laid out, what is the one choice you are going to make today to reverse your biological clock? Take that step and take control of your health span. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.